就是排就对了。
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Hello everyone. Welcome to our internal training for Climate Quest. So today the topic is becoming a sustainability consultant. Yes, I believe it is an internal training and you guys are really a consultant, a sustainability consultant, but we want to improve as much as we can and always come back to the fundamentals. So let's start off with today's topic. Becoming a sustainability consultant, we'll go through on consultants' fundamentals, carbon footprint, carbon credits, as well as plastic credits. So just a little bit introducing on our company. So what we actually do is on carbon credits, plastic credits as our main pillars, and then we also do GHG accounting and sustainability reporting, as well as green building certificates and sustainability roadmap. So a little bit introducing to me to you guys. I'm Grayson from Climate Quest. I'm your director of sustainability development. Also, what I usually do is that I go a lot of association meetings, conferences to meet people, networking, as well as on-site experience with plastic credits as well as carbon credits projects. So before we start, just a little bit, warming up. So can I get some feedback from you guys that what actually are the responsibility of a consultant as well as one skill from each of you? Yeah, can I have a raise of hand? Yeah, Alice please.
Consultant is helping companies to solve the problems that internally they don't want to solve.
Okay, that's right. Okay. How about a skill? Yeah.
And to write reports, do reports writing.
Okay, so it's report writing.
Yeah.
How about communication? Can I have Alan? Yeah.
Sorry?
What do you think about communication? Is it an important skill in?
Yes.
Okay.
Your client need to understand what you're saying.
Okay, alright. So let's move on to an icebreaker first. The title is Now You Trust Me and Now You Don't. How do we do it? Is that I need each one of you to actually write or prepare for 3 statements. 2 on the true statements and 1 on the false statements on your working habit. Yeah, okay. You may start now and we will have a group discussion after that to actually present your statement and we have to guess whether which one is the false one. Okay, please start.
No, you need to think first, then only discuss later.
Yeah, you have to think first. everyone another 3 more minutes and we will start the discussion. Okay, is everyone ready? Okay, so you may start, sit in a group, 3 of you sit in a group and start to introduce yourself and talk about your working habits, your 3 statements.
The oldest one go
Yeah.
first, no?
Wow. What habit ah?
3, 1, 2 true, 1 false.
I like to keep my workplace clean.
Okay, you start with the first one. Okay.
No. I like to drink coffee. I come to office very early. Which one?
Okay. Do a little bit introduce to yourself, to your colleagues, again who you are.
So hi, I'm Alan. I am Director of Biotechnology and other things. Done already? Your turn?
Okay, are you supposed to guess this one or
We can go one first, yeah.
Okay. Hello, I'm Alice. I'm also Kapau Liao. My 3 facts. First, I prefer to multitask. Second is I prefer individual work over group work. Third one is I'm a morning person. Yeah.
It's my turn. My name is Kelly and I'm currently under probation. So the first is I drink coffee every morning and I like to work with split screens while I'm working. And and I rarely talk with my colleagues when working.
Okay. So I think it's both your turn to actually guess which one is the fourth one.
Your one should be the workplace very early one or okay. Your one is what? Drink coffee every morning, then you like to work in split screen and you
Yeah.
rarely talk to your colleagues.
Yeah.
Split screen or you
She's currently splitting screen now.
drink coffee, yeah.
Drink coffee.
No, drink coffee is
You say before you like drink coffee.
Yeah.
So which one is false?
Rarely communicate with colleagues.
Ah. But then you mean like usual circumstances?
Yeah.
So you do like to communicate with people?
Yeah.
What's yours again?
Prefer to multitask, prefer individual work.
And one
One
person.
person.
One person.
Yeah, one person. Confirm. Everyday can always talk.
Okay, so I hope you get to know your colleagues better right now. Okay, so let's go into today's topic, where I would like to start with the learning outcome first. We go from the back and we start from the module 1. So what we're going to do is that today, after this session, you get to define the role and responsibility of sustainability consultant in CQ, and then identify the OCF, PCF, carbon accounting fundamentals. And third one will be on carbon credits as well as plastic credits. And then the fourth one will be on the scenario, what if you get to meet a client or you get a case scenario, what will you do? So with that, we will have 4 modules today. The first one will be on the becoming a CQ consultant, and second will be carbon footprint fundamentals. Third one will be carbon and plastic credits fundamentals, and fourth will be our practical group activity, which we have case scenario in it. So for the first one, becoming a sustainability consultant. So how we actually work at CQ is that we have these 5 cores, where we start with the ownership. We need to know our own responsibility as well as our timeline, deadlines, our tasks. What should we do? When should we do? The second thing will be curiosity. So at the first day, we do introduce that we should ask more, be brave to try. So this is curiosity. Third thing will be integrity. Always be transparent, always be pure in what you do, be clear in what you do, to our internal as well as to external people. And fourth one will be collaboration. We do encourage people to work together, but if like you love to work individually, of course that there wouldn't be a problem. Just that communication always works as when you are in hard times or you face difficulties. Okay, don't be afraid to ask, although sometimes the directors do show some poker face or resting bitch face, but then please do just approach any one of us to ask. And the fifth one will be on excellence. Try to do your best to hit the targets. Okay, so with this course, there's the how and the do. So what we actually practice in Climate Quest is that we hope that everyone can, always ask why, the reason behind. Because we are consultants, we actually selling brain cells or we're selling knowledge. So you have to know more than outside the box, So think outside the box. So you need to know a lot of knowledge. So ask why, always ask why, either from internet or from any of your peers and colleagues. Yeah. Okay. The second thing will always be check the evidence. Of course, nowadays we rely on AI a lot, but sometimes the things that the reference are incorrect. So please do check every time on the evidence. And then third thing will be taking ahead. This is one of the criteria of being a consultant. Always think that what you can help your client or your peers 2 steps ahead, or at least 1 step ahead. The fourth thing will be communicate clearly. This is a very important thing that we have to practice every time we are in a project or in a task. Because when there's miscommunication, task might be duplicated or work might be delayed. So the do is that we have to understand clients' operations, their data, and so challenges. This is first thing when we meet clients. The second thing will be we assess them, assess their data. And third thing will be develop is either on the calculation side, on the reporting side, or any assessment side. So the fourth will be support. It's either we giving them solutions or providing them ideas. So the process is that we always meet client, we understand what's their problem. This is first thing, always. So like a scenario, maybe one of our clients having too much waste being unutilized or being dumped at their backyard. So there's like DOE, the Environment Department of Malaysia is finding them. They have to settle the waste. So we understand that this is their challenge, and we provide them solution. So from there we collect data, so we know how much waste they have. Then we assess, see whether this site is suitable for any modification or rectification. And the fourth, we deliver the whole project to them. Okay, so to be a professional, you must be clear. Okay, the first thing you must be clear. This is always be clear, be sure what you're talking and who you're talking to, the right person. Okay, the second thing is to be prepared. Always know what you want to talk. The things behind your talk is the things correct. Check the evidence. And the thing that I would like to add on over here is that always, as a consultant, everything you spoke out, people tend to take it as reference or the final answer. So if you are not sure of that, don't be shy to say that, come back to them, or you check for them, a deeper check for them, and then get back to them later on. Yeah, don't simply just provide the wrong answer and you come back with a lot of problems after that. Yeah. So the third thing will be proactive. Always stay close with your client, stay close with your project, understand what the task is, who to deal with, and the fourth thing will be very responsive. Okay, so to the deadlines. So this is what we practice in Climate Quest. So I hope you understand on the culture. So and also how do we communicate? How do we think? Always be ready, be prepared, be brave to try. Don't be nervous, over nervous, and simply just give an answer to our clients. Yeah. Okay, that's it. So a small break over here. Okay, guys. Okay, after a break, let's start with module 2. So it will be on more technical module. It is on carbon accounting fundamentals. From here, you get to understand the basic of how do we calculate carbon emission, as well as from where do we calculate. So just a very simple understanding on carbon accounting first. How do we actually calculate it, and what the unit it is. So what we usually do, it will be in a unit of carbon dioxide equivalent. It can be converted from carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, any sort of GHG, which means greenhouse gas emission. But usually what we do is we convert it back into carbon dioxide equivalent. So this is what you see. It's not that we only calculate carbon dioxide, but we use it in terms of unit carbon dioxide equivalent. So the basic of this is actually pretty simple. It starts with only 3 steps. First thing is you have to understand what activity it is. Then the second step will be you getting the activities data. So it's either, let's say, the purchase electricity, which is for TNB. How much do you use a year? Okay, and then we will go to second step will be emission factor. Emission factor will be actually depending on the region or depending on the specific product itself. So let's say we are talking about electricity in Semenanjung. You will be having a 0.585 kilogram carbon dioxide equivalent per ton. So this will enable us to multiply these two, and you'll get your carbon emission. So let's give it a little bit try. Let's say we have a factory that is making clothes. So they are using 1 megawatt hour a year, which is also 1000 kilowatt hour a year. So it is at Semenanjung, so it will be with this emission factor. Can anyone else give me an answer of this factory's electricity carbon emissions?
585 kg CO2e.
Okay, 585. Okay, you are correct. So that is as simple as that. So this is on electricity.
How you get the 0.585 from?
Okay, so on 0.585, different product or different emissions we're getting from different sites. For electricity itself, we're able to get it from our national reference, which is from the ST. Yeah. Okay. So to actually add on this reference also actually taken by from the VCM reference, where Malaysia back in 2010s, they have this reference that's saying this will be the emission for Semenanjung Malaysia's carbon emission factor for electricity. If you want to calculate how much of emission you are from this purchased electricity. Yeah. Specifically for carbon credits. So going deeper, there will be PCF, product carbon footprint, as well as OCF, organization carbon footprint. It is similar. They are calculating carbon footprints, just that one is basically on the product itself, and another one will be on organization. Let's say on Apple. So Apple company will have their own organization footprint, and to the product itself, maybe we can go down to into iPhone or even Mac. So for Windows, it does the same way. So it will be on the organization level, as well as in, let's say we want to see how much Windows book, how much does it cost, how much does it emit on carbon emission per unit of product. So overview of product carbon footprint is that we have to look across from basically how this product being born, produced, and until it's either on the boundary itself, on its grave or gate. So I will explain on what is the life cycle later on. So what we actually is relevant to the product is we're able to identify the hotspot of the product when we do this whole assessment, and then able to, from this data, we're able to perform better on the manufacturing side or the design side, as well as we meet customer requirement. Let's say they need this product to be listed in MyHL, or need this product to be sold to some clients with certifications. So last but not least will be on the support of low carbon product claims. So on PCF, basically people ask is how much does a product associate or actually emit carbon dioxide, okay, per unit of product. So what we actually need is from how do we produce, right? So it's from the raw material to the transport, to the production, and to the waste, and also to the product itself. Of course, if we go deeper, it will go to disposal or even recycle. So this is what I meant on the life cycle of a product. So it starts with cradle, which is the raw material, and then we will have to the materials manufacturing, and then to the product manufacturing, which after we get our product done from the production facility itself, that will be the gate. So from here to here will be cradle to gate. So let's say if we want to calculate deeper to the downstream, so that will be the gate is either to the grave or the cradle again. So what we mean grave is that we will go through from the facility itself to the buyer or the off-taker of this product, and how they use it, and does it go into the dump site or does it recycle back. So let's say its end of life will be being dumped, so that will be on grave, and let's say it will be recycle again, they will be cradle to cradle. Yeah. So from all this process, right, there will be factors contributing to the carbon footprint of the products. So first of all will be the materials, which might be paper, raw, starch, ink, adhesive film, or even string. Now, second thing will be the transport. Third thing will be the energy itself, waste, and then the output of the product. How much does it? So these are the data that we needed to calculate the product carbon footprint. So to simplify, let's say we take just now the example on the energy side. So you have the carbon dioxide total of emission on the energy. So you have to divide the total production of the unit, and you will stand in order to get the energy of the carbon dioxide emitted for the energy side. So doing the same thing all together, materials, transport, energy, and waste together, divide on your total production output, you will get the total emission per unit of product. Okay, so on the OCF part, this will be a bigger umbrella. It will be under organizational carbon footprint, which it relates up to your upstream, downstream, your scope 1, scope 2, and scope 3. So what I mean that I'll explain later on. But first of all, is that when you do this, right, it is relevant to an organization because you also get to identify your hotspot. But it's on organization level. It's either on energy, transport, the production itself, or operation itself. So, and usually what it takes that when you have this data, we're able to do this OCF, and you get to set a performance benchmark. Let's say you are doing for your ESG reporting, GI. So this will be one of the data is contributing to the report. And the third thing will be meeting compliance report. Fourth will be you get to know where to actually reduce your carbon emissions. Okay, so basically OCF breaks down into 3 scopes. One will be scope 1, scope 2, and then scope 3. The first one, scope 1, will actually be the direct emission from your company, which might be your own machineries, your own vehicles, your own operations. Second thing will be on the scope 2. Scope 2 will be from the purchased electricity, emission, which is contributed by maybe your TNB electricity. And third will be your indirect emissions, might be coming from your upstream or downstream. So what do I mean that will be in this picture? So this is an example of scope 1, scope 2, and scope 3. So scope 1 basically is to calculate the scopes of your emission from the direct emission from your own machineries, mobile vehicles. So like let's say your operation machineries, your internal shovel, van vehicles, your aircon, and so on. And scope 2 will be on your purchased energy, which is from TNB. What we usually do is that we have this TNB bill, and we back calculate how much emission it is with the carbon emission factor. And third thing will be actually on our clients' upstream or downstream. It's split into 2 things. One is upstream, so it has 15 different categories. So it depends, because in Malaysia, scope 3 is it's a very hard thing to calculate, first of all, because not everyone able to do their own scope 1, scope 2. Second thing is there is no mandation to do so. So when you want to calculate, there might be lack of data. But of course, when we do scope 3 for our clients, always remember there will be a materiality there. Maturity means that you have to pick which one is more relatable and more impactful to the company. So there's like 15. So some sectors, some company do have more relevant categories related to them. So that one we will be based on materiality, and we calculate from there. So just a case study example on this metal manufacturing company. So the scope 1 emission will be from the boiler, the furnace itself, and diesel from the forklift, as well as on-site generation of the genset. For scope 2, the purchase energy will be directly from TNB, from the energy. So for Semenanjung is TNB, and there will be different for Sarawak and Sabah. And scope 3 will be that indirect, so will be include like employee commuting, supply delivery, business travel, purchase of raw materials, waste and away for disposal, and all this. So there will be scope 1, scope 2, scope 3. This will be the whole calculation. So let's say we're able to calculate scope 3, at least we're able to provide the scope 1 and scope 2 calculations. So to actually, it seems like a lot of things, but to actually simplify it, scope 1 is actually the emission from your own. Scope 2 will be the energy purchase from your energy purchase. Scope 3 will be actually from your downstream and upstream. Yeah. So just a review. Can I have anyone to let me know whether this is scope 1, scope 2, or scope 3? Indirect emission connected to the business. Indirect. Give it another try.
Scope 3.
Yes. Okay. So indirect. So again, scope 1 will be your own. Scope 2 will be from the purchase energy. Scope 3 will be indirect emissions. So what will be this? Directly on. Okay, good. Okay. So the third one will be energy.
2.
Okay. Good. How about this? 2. Okay. How about this? Internal forklift. Internal, you own the forklift.
1.
Yeah. It's within your own boundaries. Yeah. Scope 3 is where it is indirect. Indirect means that it is not on your own boundaries, it's from the upstream or downstream.
Means you can control, scope 1 like you can control whether you want to use diesel forklift or electric forklift. So it's your control. Scope 3 means totally you cannot control.
Yeah. So last one, employee commuting mode.
3.
3. Okay, alright. So to conclude, it's either OCF, PCF, or just general carbon counting, right? We always have to understand where the boundary is, what are we calculating, and what do we calculate. So from here, we're able to get what the carbon emission numbers, the figures that is associated to this company or this specific product. Yeah. So this is the key learn points of module 2. So carbon accounting converts business activity data. Okay. So usually what we do is that we get their data and we convert them back into carbon dioxide equivalent, which is what we say that how we calculate carbon dioxide emissions. So OCF mainly is on the organization level, which we have scope 1, scope 2, scope 3. PCF will be directly onto the product, where we start from raw material and depends do we end on gate or cradle again or grave. Yeah. So always determine the clear boundaries, what do we want, what data do we need, and emission factor that is related to it. Okay. That's it. Okay. Okay, so welcome back. Let's have a little bit of game. So how does this game plays that everybody will have 3 lives here, and there will be eight different types of data items over here, which also converts to an attack. So I will ask whether this will be classified as item is needed for OCF, PCF, or both. Okay, so the one that is able to answer the quickest will get an opportunity to attack, which reduces one of your opponent's lives, and you get to pick who it is. Okay, so
Is there any consequences?
might have some. No, I think no. Yeah.
No.
No.
Okay.
Do you recommend some consequences?
No, it's okay.
Okay, it's okay. Okay, so let's start with. Okay, again, the instruction is that I'll name the data item again. We'll go one by one. Whoever able to tell me the answer the quickest on whether it is a suitable item for OCF, PCF, or both will get an opportunity to actually gain one attack. Okay, that's it. Okay, so are you guys ready?
Yes.
Okay, so for the first one, annual factory electricity consumption. 1, 2, 3.
Both.
Who? You. Both. Okay, correct. So, who do you want to attack? Okay, the second one.
I know the consequence already.
Okay.
Tomorrow belanja lunch.
Okay,
I use company card belanja.
Oh.
okay. So tomorrow belanja lunch, huh?
Mm.
Okay. Whoever is the first one to die, belanja lunch tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay. So Alan, you have 2 more lives left. You have to focus. The second one, electricity used by one production line.
Count
1,
down one.
2, 3.
PCF. Both.
Okay, Alan answer on PCF. Anybody has other answers?
I think both.
It is both? Yeah, it is both because it is one of the data. You can have a lot of production line, but you need one of the production line data as well. It is included. So please choose your attack.
I don't.
Have 1 more life left. Okay, total company diesel consumption. 1, 2, 3.
OCF.
OCF. Correct.
I killed myself one.
Okay.
Take your chance.
Okay. So raw material used for one product. 1, 2, and 3.
PCF.
Yes, correct. Please choose your attack.
I chose myself.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. The next one will be annual waste generated. Yeah, which one will it be? 1, 2, and 3.
Both.
Okay, so please choose your attack. Okay, Alan
This is
is
not even
run out of lives and he have to belanja lunch tomorrow. So let's continue to the last 3. So
tomorrow lunch eat mama.
okay, no problem. Product output quantity.
Both.
Both. At least what do you think is both?
Because the output also, if you sum of the data you only have on per output, then you need to multiply output to get the organization.
To see how much the total emission, right?
Ah.
Yeah, right. Okay. So how about employee commuting data? You want to give it a try, Kylie?
Oh, I think it's OCR.
Yes, correct. So it will be under. Give it a try. Scope 1, Scope 2, or Scope 3.
Scope 3.
Okay. So last will be packaging use per product.
PCF.
It can be both also. Yeah, it can be both also. Okay, thanks for the game. Next, okay, we'll go on to module 3, carbon and plastic credits. Okay, so this module, you're able to understand, basically understand how to get the concept to filter and see whether this project is carbon credit project eligible or plastic credit project eligibility or not. Yeah, just a fundamental of it. So, okay, sure. Okay. So we start on the key concepts of carbon credits. So basically, carbon credits is a credit, is a virtual credit, digital credits, where you have to go through registry and you get these credits to actually sold to buyers that want to offset their carbon footprint. This is the whole mechanism, and the money itself, initiative is that to help the people that does all these green initiatives. So what do we have to know is that one carbon credit is actually equal to 1 ton of carbon dioxide is either avoid or remove. Okay, over here. And like what I said, by purchasing carbon credits, this is able to help all the people that does green initiative, because sometimes developing green projects needs a lot of funding, and technology might be quite new to actually to be adopted. Sometimes will be this scenario. Okay, so how does it look like to be an eligible project for biomass? Let's say biomass waste. What we do for our flagship project in Penang. So what we do is that we have this paper mill. So they use up agricultural waste, which is mp4 branch. mp4 branch, which is from the palm. So what they do is that from palm oil mill, they actually extract the oil, and this will be one of the waste product that they don't want. What they usually do is that they dump it to landfill or their backyard or even their estates up high, like very high, might be like a mountain sometimes, and sometimes it might be left over for many years until there will be like trees and grasses. So that will be the case. And when they left it over, right, there will be anaerobic decomposition happening right in the middle of the whole pulp, like very in the middle. So the pulp will be actually quite warm if you go near to it, because there's this anaerobic decomposition going on, which this temperature and warm, right, does contribute to burning. Sometimes it caught fire because of the heat. And other than that, by downpouring all this, right, there will be like leachate, wastewater problem, odor problem to the nearby people. Okay, so from this scenario, what we do is that carbon credits are able to push these people to actually utilize this biomass waste into their boiler, which to generate into either steam, electricity, or making it into a stabilized form of biomass, which might be pellets and briquettes. In the future, we might be able to show you what does it actually looks like. I think they have our
This one.
yeah.
Left
so
side.
we'll bring it over to you. Okay, so from there, we're also able to see how we have an alternative to our TNB electricity. So turning into a more biogenic, turning into a biogenic fuel. Yeah. So on biogas side, this will be actually from the mill also. So what we do is that when they extract the oil, right, then there will be wastewater flowing to their ponds for wastewater treatment, and this wastewater do generate methane when they have this same thing anaerobic decomposition happening on underneath it. So what they do is that before this they are not mandated, there's no mandation, and now we do have, and also to specific scale of your meal, depending on scale of meal, and then they will need you to either cover your lagoon or have this so-called anaerobic digestion tank, AD tank, to actually capture the methane and turn it into biogas. So from here you're able to avoid this methane being released into the atmosphere. So this avoidance will be turned into a calculation where we submit to a registry, and this registry will able to issue us credits, and this is how we help clients to generate extra income for their green initiative. Yeah. So from here, there will be like biogas turning into bio-CNG, LNG, compressed natural gas, liquefied natural gas, as well as electricity generation, which also turns out to be another scenario of you are alternating TMB electricity. Yeah. So this is the project scenario. So what we have here, usually we have turbine here. Here we will have carbon lagoon, as well as or we have AD tank, and then this we have like CNG LNG facility, turning into a tank, or even store in the tank, and people with tanker bringing into the facility to actually take the natural gas out. Yeah. So the component of different types of carbon credit here is that we have methane avoidance carbon credit, renewable energy carbon credits, as well as carbon removal carbon credits. So what we talked about just now, right? The first two from biomass as well as from biogas, right? When we talk about avoiding the methane released into the air, right, there will be the methane avoidance carbon credits. And then when we talk about alternating TMB electricity, or generating renewable steam, or turning or recovery of heat, this will be on the renewable energy side. And also, I didn't mention just now, but there will be also a carbon removal carbon credits, where typically these credits its value, right, is higher than these two, like a lot. So what does it mean is on carbon removal is that the concept is that you remove the carbon of being into the atmosphere rather than avoiding it. So what they do is that they have the methodology and also the facility to actually turn all these biomass waste, let's say our EFB bunch, empty food bunch, into biochar. So when they turn in biochar, right, biochar in a form in normal temperature, right, normal condition, right, it's very hard for it to be dissolved or to be used. So the carbon stored in the biochar, right, will be very long lasting, and typically we want it to be last more than 100 years. And what they do is that avoiding it to be burned or to be used. So what they do is that not to be used, to be burned. So what they do is that either they use it in concrete, cement, or even they use it as fertilizer onto the ground. So what we show is that the project is able to store carbon permanently, rather than this avoidance. So when I talk about registry, right? So these are the registry. There are many more, but these are the main ones. And the very, very main ones, the popular one will be the first three, will be the VERA, Gold Standard and Pure Earth. And when we talk about methane avoidance as well as renewable energy projects for us, right, usually we go for VERA, which is the most recognized one. Gold Standard will be the secondary registry, when there's like alternative methodologies in it. And then Pure Earth was specifically onto the biochar projects. Yeah. So when we generate all this, right, where do we actually sell? So depends on who do you want to sell and where do you want to sell. So on domestically, we're able to sell and collaborate with BCX, Bursa Carbon Exchange, and upcoming we'll have an auction with them for our first ever biomass carbon credit. Okay, I think we were able to join the whole process also. Yeah. And then we will be compliance market domestically once we have this government able to tell us when we have carbon tax and so on. And internationally, voluntary carbon market, yeah, you can sell anywhere, any buyers, but the price of VCM and CCM, there will be a quite huge difference. Okay. So, yeah, because VCM usually what they do is that people buy to actually offset their own carbon footprints for marketing purpose and reporting purpose. Net zero targets. Okay, so compliance carbon market, yes, they also offset, but then they offset for their carbon tax. The difference is there. So when you talk about carbon tax, there will be more value over here. And for internationally, right, we will need Malaysia to have like bilateral agreement first in order for us to trade over the CCM. Yeah. So that's all for carbon credits. That's more, but this is just the surface of it. So on plastic credit, the first of all will be that it is the same mechanism to help people or to promote more plastic collection and plastic recycling. And one plastic credit is actually equal to 1 ton of plastic is either you collect or you recycle in the dry weight. Okay, so by purchasing this, also able to help those people from upstream that is collecting and also recycling, which turns out usually the off-takers will be the ones that is producing or using plastic materials. There's also 3 types of different components on plastic credit. First of all will be the plastic collection credits. Second one will be plastic recycling credits. And third one will be ocean-bound plastic. So the same plastic, let's say we go on the same value chain, right? The idea here you might be able to see is that you might be able to claim twice. So what will be like is that the plastic waste, if you collect it, you get 1 plastic collection credits. So when you recycle it, there will be another recycling credits. Yeah. But different is that plastic collection will be dependent on the dry weight of your plastic waste collected, and plastic recycling will be the total output of your recycled plastic. Yeah. Ocean-bound plastic will be the plastic that we recover from the beach, rivers, or water stream. Yeah.
There's a vinyl made by Coldplay that is made of ocean-bound plastic.
Oh yeah.
They have the interceptor, the intercept. So plastic credit is one of the ways that they turn all this initiative to turn into market communities. Yeah, so that more and more of these activities can sustain.
There's a similar thing to carbon tax for plastic credit that is called EPR, Extended Producer Responsibility. Yeah, you can check on it also. Yeah. So what does it look like to be an eligible project for plastic credit is that for collection part, you have to make sure that this client, right, or this specific company that is collecting, right, this plastic waste will be mismanaged or unmanaged previously without their collection activity going on. So other than that, it's like almost the same. Okay, so the project scenario will be that they have a facility for this collection, they have a collection center, they have a right way process to collect all these plastic waste, and they know all these source, where does it from, and they have proper documentation on what the weight is, how much they come in, how much does this actually really send it to the recycling facility. Yeah. So the purpose of this plastic collection credits is also to push people to recycle. So what does it mean? That is that these collection credits, right, they will need you to show how much does all these plastic waste being sent to the recycling center or sent to any of the buyer. You have to identify all the buyers. So they want to actually ask you to go and collect and send to the right place where this plastic can be recycled again, rather than going back into a river or going back to the dump site. Yeah. So the recycling part will be more easy, which is have to prove that the plastic waste will be going to the landfill or somewhere else and mismanaged, and you are the one having this facility, helping and able to sort out all different plastic and turn it back into plastic value chain. That's the whole concept of recycling. Recycling is much more straightforward. It will be the output of how much you recycle. Yeah. So we can sell it on. So this will be the regulating body. They run MPCX, and PCX itself also stands as a platform for plastic credit trading. So called plastic credit exchange. So usually these are the people that buy plastic credit where they have this EPR as well as reaching plastic waste net zero. Same thing to the carbon net zero, but this on plastic side. Yeah. We ourselves also having two
plastic credit projects.
Correct. Okay, so I will need you guys to sit in a group. We have a practical group activity, which I'll give you a client scenario right now. It is called Green Pack Manufacturing Sdn Bhd. It produces paper and plastic packaging products. Okay, so he came to us. Okay, so he wants us to measure its OCF and one of the products PCF, and then knowing that we are doing carbon credit and plastic credits as our main pillars, they want us to help them to explore whether there's opportunity on their facility or not, and then wanting us to give them a recommendation on how to improve their overall sustainability performance. So what they give us right now is that the operation details that they uses green electricity and diesel. They purchases paper, plastic resin and packaging materials, generate production scrap and plastic waste, and all this waste goes to landfill without any management, and then operates its own delivery vehicles, plans to install a biomass boiler and expand recycling activities. So there are no collection activities going on. All this plastic waste will be sent to landfill. Yeah. So, okay, this is the summary of it. So, please sit in a group, and the task will be this. So, for OCF and PCF, identify the possible main source of OCF and green pack paper box, which is the PCF. Okay, and then list the possible required data and supplement documents. We will have to inquire back to Green Pack Manufacturing Sdn Bhd. And for carbon credits, assess whether the proposed biomass boiler may generate carbon credits or not, because they heard it from their other friends that this is carbon credits eligible. Okay, and assess whether the expanded plastic recycling activity may generate plastic credits, and they don't know about plastic collection credits. Maybe you can have some recommendation on that. So give me the key finding, misinformation, and potential opportunities as well as a recommendation. So I'll go back to the information. So please in a group, yeah, and we will start.
应该没有。那边有没有？
还有个要你 approve。
看到哪一个？
stamp。
好。人家少位啊。
不用抖啊，你们人家随过去的吗？
你。
我？个屁
！OK，不给他选了。是吧？
好狗屁。
Then productivity 怎样？
几久啊？这样。
20分钟。
还是你给每个人负责一个东西，然后我们可以尝试。
哦，这个。OK， so， 哇，哪个会比较好啊？
你想负责哪一个？
呀。
Because I'm still unsure like the whole flow, so I'm not so confident like.
Yeah. 这样我们 discuss 吧。With or那个 diffuse 在上面，可是这样的话我也看不到那个
是哦。
那个塔上。
等一下，看我这样 split 出来。
马上跑。
是啊。你不可以做的。
哦，就这样。
没有，这样放在一个 slide 上，我们可以一次给我看。
这样，要放两边的啊，这个。
Let's get it go.
extra 高。但是我的我也是找不到那个，他也是在找着那一块包的 clip 也是找了3、4间找不到。
说不定啊。
没有，应该是没有货了。小 B 的应该是 final store 的。
我最喜欢这个啊。
没有 shortcut key 的。
这有的应该是有的，不懂，对吧？这是2个吗？是的，OK。
全部都拍下来了。
不结婚了，那你把牡丹做好还是这边讲废话
OK，来。
？Okay. First one, OCF. Identify main sources for OCF in green back paper box. OCF. Scope 1, Scope 2, Scope 3. 觉得有什么 Scope 1？This is Scope 1 是 Scope 2。
OK。
还有什么 Scope 1的吗
什么？那你是什么？直接提的。
？Scope 1, 2, 3。分类。Raw mat 是什么？
没有。
它是 roadmap 是你可以自己 control 吗？不可以吗？是不是？
就是 raw mat 它怎样来？好像我没有办法 control 我的 paper supplier 是用 recycle paper 还是什么，所以它是 under Scope 3。
可以选。
选 supplier，但它没有办法 control 改变。waste。waste 是什么？
为什么哪一个？
那搞错 waste 啊？
关我屁事啊！
你觉得 waste 是哪一个？Scope 3。
它是 downstream，还有 upstream downstream 吗？downstream。disposal。
Okay. Transport uses company vehicle to deliver finished products. At this point, you're just guessing. 33% 会对。
Yeah, just guess。诶，怎么？哦，对。
Transport.
So one is
Transport 哦，Transport 是 Scope 几？
stop。
你觉得？But 你要读后面的 information 啊，uses company vehicle。
Use company vehicles。
为什么？
因为它是 company 出来的。
它有的选是不是？它可以用 diesel、petrol car、EV car 走路、bicycle，是不是 Scope 1？
应该是 own company。然后如果那些这样子的话，这样它的 downstream 的那个送过去的那个 scope 区就没有了，它就在 scope 1那边。因为它整个包含了。
Usually Scope 1，假如它有 on-site wastewater 的话，也是 under 它的 Scope 1。把这边没有。
没有很干净。就是很干净。
First question.
First question.
And for green back paper box.
它就是 PCF。
PCF 像我们就分 cradle to gate。So cradle 的时候有什么 emission？
采矿的时候 raw mat 的时候的。
可是这个不是 export plant， 这个是 paper plant， 它没有采矿。
delivery 啊。
Okay, so 这边 delivery 就 transport of raw mat 啦。但它的 raw mat 做的时候也是有 emission 的，就是它像它要做这张纸，它的 emission 收支 raw mat 这边，然后 transport raw mat transport 给它 ，and then production 是什么？
你要问他，不要问我。
对啊，问你比较好啊。
教他。
production 你觉得有什么 ambition？ 就是在他自己的 production 的 boundary 里面。
它会有那种 carbon 那种 gas 出来，like GHG gas。
就是他用他的 fuel 的时候，说他的，来这边有写的 diesel 啊，他的 electricity 啊，也是全部就是在里面，就是 diesel electricity，然后就到底。
That's why we have the activity previously to see whether the data is suitable for OCF only, PCF only, or both. So in this case, they will be both. Yeah.
Okay. This is the possible required data and supporting documents. Okay. So required data 就是这些。Diesel 的 document 去哪里拿？
打油receipt 咯。
打油 receipt. So diesel got receipt 嘛。transport 呢就是这个也是打油的 receipt。这个？
他们的那个满力的那个单。
TDF。然后how about raw mat 就是 raw mat 的 data for scope 3。
跟这个 supplier 拿。
Yes。跟 supplier 拿，还有就是你跟他买多少嘛，说是based on你给他的 invoice。然后 waste 的话，你觉得这样吗？
waste。那也是要算。他们做的时候的那个 product 的包，然后再看的remaining多少。
你在讲这个是 something like less balance 是吗？就是什么多少进多少出，那个是其中一个方法。还有另一个比较直接的方法，就是它这些 waste 哦，它也是要给钱人家来 dispose 的，那些 waste collector。就是通常上面会有 receipt， 会有写他这个月跟你收了多少 waste， 然后 charge 多少钱。所以那个会比较快，然后比较准。所以大多数其实都是 receipt 吧，或者 internal record。
要 paper trail 啦，要可以 proof 的 paper trail。
这边一样，是不是 receipt？打油 receipt， 这个也是 receipt。But electricity 有时候是 meter， 就是meter 的那个 reading。
Hello.
Second question. Assess whether the proposed biomass boiler may generate carbon credits and identify the additional information required. 你觉得可以？
For carbon credits, right?
还装一个新的 boiler。马老师，你也没有跟我们讲怎样是可以，怎样不可以哦。
你的 question 太多了。
怎样是可以，怎样是不可以？maybe 你给一点 criteria。
Okay. Let's say for carbon credit and plastic credits, right? One thing to add on the eligibility is that the project must be a new project. So the term being a new project is the date of the project start date, which is the first purchasing agreement of your facility or machinery. So at this point, the biomass boiler is not yet being purchased and there's no contract being signed, so it's just a planning. So they want to buy this biomass boiler, new biomass boiler, and they are using mp4 bunch.
So
Which they also able to show the stockpile of the mp4 bunch being mismanaged.
I think 我们可以分几个啦，就是 timeline 来讲是 OK 咯，是不是？因为它是新的 project。然后刚才他有讲过那个 baseline 跟 project， 就是你要 before 跟 after 嘛，就是 before 它是用什么 boiler， 现在它换去什么 boiler。说老师他是用什么？他 baseline 是用什么 boiler？
它是用 cold boiler。Yeah,
Cold boiler.
Yeah.
So cold boiler now switch to biomass boiler. Okay. So in terms of baseline 跟 project 应该是 OK 啦。然后还有就是第三就是 additionality， 就是它是不是 under law 来 mandate 它一定要装这个 boiler。So as far as 我们现在的这个 law 是没有这样的 mandate 啦，就是他们要继续用 cold boiler 没有问题的。Yeah. So additionality 应该是 OK。然后
Plastic credit.
plastic credit。
It works the same way. It has to be a new project. But the start date will be the commencement date of the facility or the initiative. So we are talking about collection and recycling. The recycling plant wouldn't be in the mill, but the collection initiative can be started anytime very soon. Right now we just dump it to landfill.
So 应该是 OK 咯 timeline， 然后 baseline 就是 before 进 landfill， 现在才 recover。So baseline OK。additionality 应该也是 OK， 因为政府没有讲说你一定要 recycle 你的 plastic。So far 我们没有这个这样，还没有这样的 law。Okay. So our team already done. Maybe the boys team can present your findings first.
No, I got phone call.
Okay, are you guys done?
Yes.
Do you need more time?
So 我们要做 presentation 的。
没有。The next step will be I'll act as the client.
Okay.
Okay, then you have to consult me with the findings.
Okay.
Okay, will be some role play over here. Are you ready to be a consultant? 这个是反正我就 Yeah.
Okay.
So
Try.
you recommended next step 是我们一起啊。
Okay. Recommended next step 就是 start 这个的我们先给他 collect information 先，然后这个是跟他的 data 咯，他这些。这个他给钱了嘛？
你像我会有4个不同的者。
Okay. If they haven't received a proposal, then we need to give them the proposal first. They sign already, then we collect first payment. Then only we start the logistics.
Okay. Ready?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I'll start with. I'll be acting as Wimpact Manufacturing Sdn Bhd, and I have 4 different questions over here. Okay, I'll start off with the first one, the very nice one. So, okay, my boss say want to do the OCF. How do we start and what do you think on our company? What do we need to provide to you?
I think first is to understand the reason why you want to do OCF. Is it because of your customer requirement? Is it by legal Busa ask you to do, or why you want to do?
I'm doing for the sake of marketing purpose.
Marketing
Yeah.
purpose. Okay.
And we have already located fund for this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, understand. And what's the boundary like for the OCF? Is it you have many factories, or is it just this Penang factory?
Currently, we only have Penang factory, but we wanted to expand to Selangor. Is it this going to be a challenge or a difficulty?
No, but if you want, currently you only have Penang data, right? Because for OCF, you need to collect for historical data. So now we can only do for Penang, only the historical one. So for Selangor one, later on when you run already, you have the data, then only we will be able to do, say 1 year after the facility has run.
Okay. So the current data that we provide to you, is it sufficient or do we need more data for this OCF?
You got provide me anything, right?
Okay.
Okay. Actually not enough lah.
Okay.
still got other things like
Okay.
employee commuting,
Okay.
business travel, downstream data. Yeah.
Okay, so I will get a checklist from you, right?
Yes.
Okay, so how do we start on the first step?
Okay. How to start?
We do a proposal first.
Yes, okay, please come on proposal
And
with
after
me.
that, we will collect the first payment.
Yeah.
Once we got the first payment, we will collect the data from you guys.
Okay, okay. How much will it be, roughly?
I'll check with my company first.
Okay, good. Okay, that's it. Okay, we are good. Okay, next will be PCF. Okay. Hi guys. So based on last discussion, we have provided you some details on for PCF. What do you guys think on this project and what the complexity will be like, and how do we start for our green pack paper box? Yeah. Wi-Fi not good, I think. Give it a try. Give it a try.
Try.
Give it a try.
Sorry, what's your question again?
Okay. Based on our last discussion, yeah, we want to do PCF for our green pack paper box. What will be our next step and how the complexity it is like? Is it very hard for us, or do we able to provide you all the information?
Okay. Based on this lah, I think quite straightforward because we already have the raw mat, transport, production. But I think you didn't give me the transportation from your raw mat to your plant.
Okay,
So
okay.
the one I need.
We'll come back to you on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think next step, depending on whether you're okay with the proposal or not. If you are okay with the proposal, then we'll issue the first invoice for payment. Then after that, we have the kickstart meeting where in the kickstart meeting I'll provide you with the checklist and also provide you with the rough calculation. Then later on only we see what are the documents that are missing. Then only after all the collection of data is finished, then only we call for the audit to come. Yeah. So the audit depending on auditor's schedule also lah. So all these things roughly will take about 2 to 3 months lah for us to complete. Of course depends on how fast we can get the data from you.
Okay. Thank you at least for mentioning out the missed out information, and then what are the next step look like, and then what is the total timeline look like for us. Thank you so much for providing that. But from our side, we actually have viewed for the first proposal and found out it is still very expensive for us to do PCF for just one product purpose, and this is not on augmentation purpose for our company, and it is very hard for us to justify on this price to do so. Do you able to come up with a cheaper price?
Because our price is depending on the complexity of the production lah. But if depends on whether you have HRDF fund allocated, because we are HRDF certified. So what we can do is we can provide training to your employees on, let's say, carbon accounting lah, ESG lah. So we'll include our consultancy fee in the HRDF lah. So it's not so much of a cash flow burden to the company.
I think we can propose this to my management. Okay, thanks. Okay, good. So, 2 different characteristics, 2 different clients. So the third one will be on carbon credits. Okay, good. Let's start again. Oh, so hi CQ. So how was it? How's the assessment on our biomass boiler? Because you're sitting in London.
Biomass boiler?
Yeah.
I thought you haven't buy.
Yeah, we're planning to buy, but I think we need carbon credits because it's very expensive to actually invest. Yeah, and we're really trying to get out the resource already. Yeah, for the feedstock. Yeah, so trying to deal with our EPCC for this boiler.
Okay. I think overall the timeline, the baseline, everything, the eligibilities shouldn't be an issue. But one thing I want to bring out is that carbon credit shouldn't be your sole reliance for you to make your payback because for the carbon market now it's very unstable. So tomorrow market could crash and that if that means that you will lose a lot of money, then we wouldn't recommend you moving forward with the project and moving forward with the investment. Your justification for investment shouldn't come from carbon credit alone. It should also come from your, let's say, your energy saving, or if you see that okay, this is something that you really want to do for a marketing purpose. So it shouldn't, carbon credit shouldn't be the sole backup for you to carry out all this.
So we should act as an extra income to boost a little bit on our initiative rather than the main income stream. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because previously we have biochar owners. They don't earn anything on. Then they solely rely on carbon credits, which will make their cash flow very tight because carbon credit only comes once a year, revenue. Yeah, so we wouldn't recommend that.
But I heard from Alan that day from CQ that they say they need legal compliance documents. Actually, our factory is semi-legal, semi-illegal. So do we able to proceed with this project actually on carbon credits? Some of the documents, let's say on the firefighting certification we don't have, and we just run a plant. Yeah.
Technically, you have to be a legal entity lah. So whatever that you do must be under Malaysia law. So it would be best if you have those. But if you don't have those, you need to justify why you didn't apply. Is it not required for your industry? But just to share our auditors mostly from overseas. So sometimes they also don't know Malaysia's what type of cert you need. Yeah. So but try your best to give whatever you have.
And let's say if I wouldn't get able to get the cooperation with my feedstock supplier, what will it be like for my carbon credit generation?
So sometimes for our clients, usually they will have profit sharing with the, let's say you're taking from the thermal mills, you provide them profit sharing from the carbon credits so that they will continue giving you their feedstock. Yeah. So usually we have benefit sharing scheme.
Okay.
It also helps with our marketing also. When we are talking to buyers for carbon credits, when they hear that okay, there is a benefit sharing all the way to the point of origin, right, they will be more likely to support this kind of projects.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much. Let's move on this project.
Okay. Yes, money.
This is many problem client. This is pricing problem client. This is good client. Yeah. Okay, the last one. The hanky panky client. Okay. Okay. Hi everyone. Hi CQ. So how's the plastic credit project assessment? We have a lot of plastic being thrown every month. How can we like collect or recycle it to get credits?
Can. But provided there is a before and after lah. So before you send to landfill, right?
Yeah.
You have those evidence that you send to the
Yes, we have this municipal waste people majlis to collect this waste for us. And part of it is the plastic waste. And we do have weight data for this.
Okay. So that one will be your evidence that previously you sent to landfill. And now you are planning to collect it?
Yes, collect it.
And where you
I will send to the recycling facility of one of my friends.
Your friend lah.
Yeah,
so your friend able to give you any document to show you send to them?
Not yet, but then I don't think I want to share with my friend.
Oh.
How? And then actually all these weight right, we can do ourselves one. We just measure a few more times then I get more plastic with it. Is it possible? And auditor don't know this all is documents, right? You say it's document, right?
Yeah, it's document, but you have a risk that you fake the project. Then if the auditor finds out, the whole project goes to shit. And for us, we don't recommend that. Given that all this market is built on trust, and one bad apple could ruin the whole ecosystem. So we wouldn't recommend. As long as you're really doing the reduction, you're really doing the collection, just report on the real impact. And we will try our best to market the credits as high as possible.
So, Kelly consultant, how actually I get the plastic credit? Like one credit equals to how many plastic collect, or is it how many plastic recycle?
One plastic credit is equals to 1 ton plastics.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so do I collect and then the recycle? Is this the whole thing to get 1 credit, or is it separated? Like I collect the plastic waste and then I send to my friend, and the whole process will become like 1 credit, is it, or is separated on recycling and collection?
Very separated.
Oh, so can I get my friend's credit also? My friend is the one recycling it. My friend is the one recycling it.
But it should be you doing it by yourself instead of your friends doing it.
Okay. Okay, so I'm eligible for collection only, and my friend is eligible for recycling. Okay, thank you so much. Okay. Okay, that's it. Okay, that's all. Thank you guys for the group activity. Okay, we will continue. So module 4 debrief. Okay, OCF, BCF, always we have to know our boundaries, what we want to calculate, and what the data we need. Sometimes the data, merge align together, they cross over together, or sometimes they don't. And then for carbon credits, yes, the biomass boiler itself has potential, but you see, there's more things to learn also. There's like methodology, eligibility, additionality, and how the client act. You should stay professional by what administration actually does. And one of the traits, or action that you shown just now is pretty professional as well. When you don't understand or you're not sure, you say get back to them, you check first. Yeah, because whenever you say things out, it has consequences, it has an impact on it. Because people will say, climate quest say so, climate quest say so. Because when we go out, we heard people say so, yeah, which is sometimes not correct. Okay, so plastic credits, yes, and carbon credit, it is the same. They go by 1 credit to 1 ton, but different thing. One is carbon removal avoidance, and one is on collection and recycling. And last but not least, the consultant takeaway. There will be a lot of different scenarios. Some will be like the first client asking on the technical part, but being very nice. Second one, it might be very rude and so asking on pricing on it. They don't care about how do you calculate. The third one, they themselves, the business might be some sort of gray area, eligible and ineligible. So you have to see assess whether this client able to provide you all the documents or not. And the fourth one will be those super smart bosses. They just want to play around with this thing. They want to take advantage. We have to stay professional. Yeah. Okay, so we on to recap and okay, welcome back guys. We will go on to recap and learning reinforcement session. So just a quick recap and also a small discussion among you guys. We start with module 1. So for the module of becoming a assessment consultant in CQ, any feedback from you guys on this module? Do you guys able to catch what are the roles and responsibility to be a consultant in CQ? Anyone? Let's say to list or to say one of the traits of being a consultant. Yeah.
Curiosity.
Yes, curiosity. Other than that?
Be honest. Like,
Yep. The be clear, right?
Be clear.
Be clear. Okay. Any more?
No more.
Then do you think ownership is one of the traits? Being responsible and tied to your deadlines. Yes. Okay. Okay. I see. Okay. So we should always remember all this. Oh, there's an answer over there already.
Mm.
Okay. Okay, so we should always remember all these calls and practice how to be a assessment consultant in CQ and not only CQ elsewhere as well. If we were to path apart next time, yeah. Okay. So to make sure everything that you do is in the correct way. Yeah. Okay, so on module 2, let me see. Just a quick recap. Is there any possibility that OCF and PCF having the same data? Is there?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Can I have an example for that? Like, what would it be like for data that merge or crossover?
Raw materials,
Can I have 2 more?
transports,
Okay. Yeah. 1 more?
Electricity.
Yes, electricity. Okay, it will be good. Okay, so what do we usually calculate in? I mean, in terms of what that when we propose to our client that say, or you actually having this emission, how much emission you have in terms of what you need.
sorry, what was the question again?
What was the unit for carbon emission? Mm.
P.
Okay, correct. So it's either on ton or kilogram, so that there's a weight, right? And then carbon dioxide equivalent. So it measures how heavy by volume of the carbon dioxide equivalent it is. Okay. What are the major difference? Can I know that between PCF and OCF? What are major differences between these two?
For OCF, there are 3 different types.
So there will be like scope 1, scope 2, and scope 3 emissions. Okay. So scope 1 will be on the emission that you from your own facility or machineries. Scope 2 will be from the purchased electricity. Scope 3 will be the indirect emissions, which will be from the upstream or downstream. There will be a total of 15 different materiality which you have to choose from. That is the most relatable to your company or your organization. Okay. So what's more? To recap. Okay, I think that's it. Let's go to module 3. Module 3. So we do recap on carbon credit and plastic credits. So for carbon credits, 1 ton of carbon credit is equal to 1 ton of carbon avoided or removal. So does it apply the same thing to plastic credit? 1 ton of plastic credit equals to?
1 ton of plastic collected or recycled.
Yes, correct. Okay. TBDs. So how do we observe or assess whether this is an eligible carbon project or plastic project or not for its plastic credit and carbon credits? Do you guys have any ideas?
To see whether they have sufficient data.
Timeline. Is it a new
Timeline.
project?
Yes, correct. And last but not least,
Proposal.
no, the baseline and
Baseline.
yes, the baseline and policy. This is the very first thing you have to see whether it is actually a baseline that is accepted under the methodology or not. whether this is really a mismanaged or unmanaged scenario, either on biomass, biogas, or other different types of project. So another recap also, all these credits is actually to help out those people that is doing all these green initiatives. And how do you help out is that we will get all this cash pumping into this industry or these initiatives because of the end buyers of these credits, which is most likely to be, for carbon credits, will be those that are emitting a lot of carbon emission, or those in plastic credit will be those committing the extended producer responsibility, which these both they want to either offset their carbon footprint or achieving plastic net zero, reducing plastic waste in another form. Okay. What's more? Okay, I think that's it. And then to the last module. Okay, always remember we start with client needs, which is what Alice actually demonstrated in a very good way for the first client onwards. I mean, from the first client, we have to know, we ask client what they need first. Why do they do this? Sometimes they just heard of it and they just want to explore, but they don't have any direction. Okay. Then second thing will be collecting of the data, assess whether this scenario is applicable or not. And then of course when they ask something you don't know or not sure, always feel free to check and answer them on the next meetup or later on. Yeah. And then give recommendation professionally, of course. Sometimes plans or data might be manipulated, or their mindset might be manipulated. They might bring you into different direction. Always remember to be professional, doing the following the right pathway, following the right SOP. Yeah, that's it. Then you will be a good consultant. Yeah. Okay. We will do a little bit quiz on Kahoot. Try and join this Kahoot. Yeah. Oh, give me a second. Okay, hold on. Try keying the pin 6. Wait, try it. 去哪里啊？有声音哦。
就是在你的 Edge 还是
在
Chrome？
在这个。Okay, try on this.
所以你 join 2次。
去死。
Okay.
Yeah, let's start. Okay, the whole game.
You are on next.
What's space bar? Okay, do we able to see who is who? I think
它 next 有写吗？没有。
没有写哦。Okay. Which trait is the key for CQ consultants? Okay, who answer? Who answer? Avoid hard questions. We will find out later on.
Eh? Okay.
Okay. So how should consultants handle inconsistent client data? Just now we have demo already. Okay.
有没有老师？
Oh, somebody is not listening. Okay, quiz 4. What does carbon accounting mainly measure?
You want belanja for the rest of the week?
Staff performance mah, see that EHD team can deliver data or not.
Oh.
Okay. So which example shows activity data clearly? Are you ready? Somebody want to belanja?
这不是我啊。
你们不懂 correct answer 是什么，还是不懂要按哪个错？
不是这个没有好笑的，就没有这种了啊。
What best describe an emission factor? 来，还有两个。哦，该弄了。
对。
What does an organizational carbon footprint measure? Organizational carbon footprint (OCF). Okay. Perform. What does a product carbon footprint focus on? Okay. I guess everybody warm up already. Which element is usually inside a PCF? Okay. One carbon credit represents emission of what size? Okay. Which activity can generate carbon credits potential? Okay. What is required before issuing carbon credits? Wow. Which data types combines activity with emission factor? Okay. Which behavior shows strong ownership as a consultant? Ownership, huh?
Escalating. What is it?
Which phase often starts a government project? Why? So remember, the credits, the development of carbon credits should be start before the project start date, which is your first purchase agreement, which will be at project design stage. Carbon credits always reflect financial profit for a project. Yes, we always have to depend on our main business, but as a main country, but not from carbon credits. Okay, this will be a slider. How many tons of CO2 are there in one credit? Okay, Zhen. Okay, everyone got correct. Right? Okay, quiz again. Which activities often provide key PCF emissions? PCF. Okay. Double points. Which aspect should consultants question in client data? Start. Okay. Which standard unit links activity to emission factors? Okay. Okay, check the podium. Wow.
Good ah.
Okay. Session summary. I think that's it. That's it. Yeah, we still have one more thing to do. Okay, so second last thing good that there was one more. So this will be the key takeaways for our session today. We must remember and try to remember, right? So that okay, so as security consultants, we are consultants, so we sell knowledge and brain cells and all these things. So always make sure that you're clear on what you're doing, check on the evidence, okay, answer confidently, okay, be brave to try everything. Always keep in mind that integrity is a thing, and then stay professional. Even sometimes profit or career path or career goals overstep your mindset or somehow. But remember, do things according to SOPs and follow your guidelines. Always, if there's any problem, do communicate with your colleagues. I believe always, 3 minds is better than 1 mind, or 2 minds better than 1 mind. So just communicate. OCF, no. Remember, it measures organizational level. It covers from scope 1, which is your own emission, your own machinery and emission. Scope 2 will be the purchased electricity. Scope 3 will be the indirect emission from your upstream and downstream, which you have 15 different categories. Okay, and PCF will be direct onto the product itself, and it measures from the cradle to gate to cradle or grave again. So it depends on boundaries. Both OCF and PCF have its own boundaries, and PCF itself, you start from the raw material and then transport to your facility for manufacturing and process, and then it goes up from the facility gate to the usage, and then to the disposal, or even back to recycle. So it depends on boundaries. And always remember, OCF and PCF, there might be data that overlaps. So yeah, that's the thing. And then for carbon and plastic credits, for carbon credits, it is for how much you avoid or remove for the greenhouse gas based on activities. There will be, which means there will be a baseline emission, and there will be a project scenario emission, which you reduce. So the amount that you reduce returns it into carbon credits, which these credits able for us to sell to those that want to offset their own carbon footprints by buying credits. And so for plastic credits, it's similar. So it is based on how much you collect and recycle your actions, and credits generated will also be able to sell to those people that want to claim their plastic cans, which how much they reduce by contributing this amount of plastic credits. Yeah. So somehow people might think this is quite controversial because you are not actually doing it, but in fact, you're thinking from another perspective is that you're actually putting money, putting fund into this specific industry or action, which able to help out on the very, very beginning of the whole value chain, which you're able to recycle, you remove, or you avoid carbon emissions. And last but not least, okay, always as a consultant, we start with understanding client needs, communicating with them well, okay, able to understand what they need and also convey your message clearly to them, at least at the point that they understand everything you say. Yeah, that's the whole point of communication. And then, of course, checking all the evidence. Even though the data provided by clients, right, you have to check also. Sometimes there might be client like the client 4 or client 3 that they want to manipulate data just for the sake. For client 3 will be they want to be eligible, right? And for client 4 they want to earn more. So all this we have to double check for our side and also for the client side. And last but not least, always give them gaps that can improve, recommendation, and so on, which somehow will bring more projects back to you, because all these recommendations actually related back to all the services. Yeah. Okay, so got to mention this also. This is actually our slogan. Yeah, introducing this to you, to everyone also again. So, Planet Quest, leading the way to net zero. Yeah. That's it. So, thank you. I think we will have a question and discussion session over here. So, anything to ask for today's session? Shall we start with Alan?
No question.
Why there? Hmm.
What's the difference between ESG and carbon footprint?
Okay, ESG is a different scope, different sector, subsector of the whole sustainability umbrella. So ESG is actually, okay, we'll say ESG reporting rather than say ESG. So ESG itself is actually 3 pillars of thing. It's called environmental, social and governance pillars. So it stands out differently as its own pillars, and it has its own sub-sectors to be monitored based on environmental, social and governance. And usually what people do is they turn it out into reporting. So reporting itself, for now, there is no, okay, usually what people do right now is for their own marketing purpose, on telling people how great they are saving on the emission side and how well they treating people in their company for social side, and also governance, how much they comply on. It is not only on the emission itself. So the question is OCF and ESG, right, or PCF? OSG? OCF. So OCF, yes, it is still on organization level, just like ESG, but it only able to measure on the E side and very specific subsector on how much emission only of this organizational emitting. On ESG side, there is more. E can be to the wastewater as well, to electricity, fuel, and it might be able to report on how much plants you're planting as well on the ESG part. But whereas on the OCF, it's only on the emission part. Yeah. But ESG, there's still social part and also governance part. Yeah. Thanks for the questions and wonderful discussion. There will be end of the session. Thank you so much for coming today. Thank you everyone.